Could be Kalista Renata, that's been one of the strongest and one of the best bot lanes from the LPL too. We really popularized that here in this region. Cream picking up Azir. Of course, he's not necessarily known for his mage play. He's picked more and more up as time's gone on, but picking that out against Knight, who famously doesn't really play the Azir that much, that's an interesting blind pick. I wonder what Knight's got in stock, because we were talking about how big his champion pool is. Knight Syndra. Yeah. That'd be a way to kick off the year. Oh, please not.
Don't do it.
No!
No Knight.
We have Knight versus Cream. We can't start off with Corki Azir.
I swear to God, if this is locked in, please don't lock that in. I'm going to wait until it is, because we don't talk about it.
Okay,
yes, thank you. There we go. We got
That's
LeBlanc going in. Now, this could be an AD LeBlanc. This could be an AP LeBlanc. I will say, with the amount of AD you already have, it does limit you if you go to the AD route.
If this is 14.1B,
it is.
AD LeBlanc has been gutted. We've seen a couple of teams try and pick it up. I would really like to not see AD LeBlanc if it has been that hot fix patch. However, as you're saying, you know, lots of AD from that bot lane as well, because you have the double marksman in the Varus and the Ashe, which means that the Ashe is likely going towards that support. And Mako, who we were saying in the pre-show, has been one of our ranged support players, picking up the Nautilus instead. Aggression meeting the ranged bot lane of Elkanon.
And look, I'm a happy man when I see LPL supports on Engage. That's what makes me happy in my life. So having to see Mako kind of pick up something that is a bit more proactive, and you honestly, you have to be when you're looking into a double AD carry bot lane with a Kalista who is just notoriously short range, you don't really have a choice to kind of, except for just keep going and fighting.
Thinking about it, actually, Nautilus has been a pick which has defined the LPL through multiple eras. Heck, it was even like Amazing J back in 2015, 2016. You played it in the top lane. It was a huge pick for the LPL back then. And a huge pick for Bin recently has been that Jax. Jax builds different items now, no longer the Divine Sundra, but he goes towards Titanic Hydra and a whole load of other stuff, and he's still really strong, and it's Bin's Jax. Why would you question that one? Worth noting, Udyr top lane, very, very strong right now. Both him and Cassante have been the disruptive bruiser top lanes, which still have some early game presence. So those two might come onto the table for this, but that means it would be tank versus tank in the top lane. For me, that favors 369. He has been the premier tank top laner in the LPL for a great time now.
Absolutely, and again, it's why we highlighted this matchup of 369 into Bin, because 369 just seems to have Bin's number. Bin looks exceptional against almost everybody else except for 369, and it does feel like taking away things like the Ornn away from him just kind of stops top esports from getting that small scaling kind of advantage, stopping them from kind of neutralizing the rest of the map. They go for the Xin Zhao as their jungle pick, and they're leaving that counter for 369.
Xin Zhao is a very strong jungler right now. So with Titanic Hydra being a very strong item in terms of the stats that it gives, it's been reverted to its pre-mythic state where it gives you an auto-attack reset. Now, Xin Zhao, when you press your Q, once you attack 3 times, you end up getting a knockup. That reduces that basically to 2, because you can tap the Titanic Hydra and get through an auto-attack early. It means that your early game presence at a 1-item mark is so strong. So, Cassante locked in for Bin. I would imagine it is going to be something like the Udyr top from 369 to answer that one. That has been the meta answer, and it feels like a lot of the other top lane options are removed from the table.
I just want him to pick like something mad. Just go Singe. You know what I mean? Just go. So everyone was
actually,
mad. Singe was mad.
Really strong.
I was gonna say
weeks,
for a couple of weeks, everyone was going onto the Singe hype train. But for BLG, they're thinking about their last kind of combo. They would like a little bit extra engage. Yes, they've got the double kind of ult combination board. BLG,
Grand Jungle.
Not the first one. We have seen it in LCK before.
We have.
But this is a huge marker put down by Sean.
Now, the Nocturne is being hovered. That has been another powerful pick too. But Brand's power clearing is absolutely absurd, and Brand is very, very quick at taking even objectives. If you hit the Void Grubs with your Q and you spread everything, you get the passive explosion kind of tandeling down the line. So you basically one-shot those Grubs, which means that top esports, if they're choosing early game objectives, they're going to have to be aware that Xun is going to be faster on the clear. I love this. He's always played different champions, and that's the expected Udyr answer from 369. It is tank versus tank. Typically, that has favored 369, but Ben, we've seen him evolve over the course of the year. Now he has a new chance in a new year to take a win versus 369.
Yeah, well, this could be the first of many. We'll see how BLG want to try and take it, but they have got themselves a very good draft, in my opinion, in terms of the pure damage output they go with. However, for top esports, they're more reliable. They're very bog standard, front to back. Let's get our fights kind of going with this. Keep the Azir and Kalista just pumping out those damage. So I'm curious to see how this early game will adapt, because if BLG start rolling, they won't be stopped.
If they manage to get lane pressure with the bot lane pushing in and then looking towards Ashe ults and Varus ults, kind of controlling the game, then I think BLG walk away very, very happy. But if they slip up and Mako with the engage options, the new member, of course, course, towards that support role for top esports, he can blow up in the game because there's no such thing as a tank besides that Cassante for the side of BLG. So looking at Mako, looking at the bot lane of both of these, if these engage options start getting ahead, then that team is going to really, really benefit from it.
Here we are, the drafts are locked. Everyone is ready and we are prepared for game 1 of our first series of the 2024 Spring Split. And I just want to see both these teams lock horns and really show us who's going to be taking the advantage right out the gate.
Absolutely. I have missed this. I have missed this so
while.
much. And yeah, and luckily the meta has put itself towards locking horns, particularly towards that 2v2. It feels like one good Nautilus hook could blow flashes, get a kill, get a first blood or something like that towards the bot side. Shinsao, of course, much stronger at ganking at the level 3 mark, but if you over-engage into a brand, Shun, who has been, I'm not going to say off-meta, but he's been one of our more varied junglers, he could really make his mark too. Yeah,
absolutely. And for top esports, it's about riding the ship, making this roster work. JackeyLove has probably got the best support he's ever going to get, if I'm being totally honest. So this has to work for them. But we shall stall no longer. We are jumping onto the rift. We're even showing off the new avenues. Really nicely done there from our observing team. But I'm just excited. It is the LPL 2024 Spring Split, and we are finally into game. And the wet noodle fight has already begun.
Get used to it, you're going to see a bit of that one, but immediately onto the Rift, and we get to see some of those map changes. Of course, you will have seen these if you loaded up your own client or if you've watched some other regions, but particularly blue side jungle on both sides of the map have changed significantly. The way you enter the jungle is very, very different, and the way that it combos into your mid lane too changes up a lot. You can't just walk across mid lane now. You have to walk under tower shot range if you do go from jungle to jungle. There's no kind of extra avenue outside of that. That changes the way that some mid laners end up going back as well, and you can see that immediately. Knight walking up towards Cream, getting a good trade there too. Worth noting that the fleet footwork on Azir has become very, very common because it now procs on your soldiers, because your soldiers apply on hit. On the other side though, Knight with that fleet footwork means that this is likely going to be an AD LeBlanc, even though we haven't seen as much of it on the hotfix patch.
No, and this is so painful right now for Cream. And we talked about, we wanted to see how he would do in this matchup. It's just kind of difficult. Level 1, this is how the Varus and the Ashe works in tandem. JackeyLove taking a fair bit of hurt. And BLG right out the gate saying, no. We are owning this. We are getting ourselves sorted with this. And we are going to be the ones who push back in. And also, I just realized the Eddies, I think, have their own little counter at the top.
Oh, we do. That's great. Cool to see them up there. But yes, that was the carry attack from On of last spring, spring of last year, where you take barrier. Doesn't matter if the engaged support goes onto you. You pop the barrier, you use that for the low cooldown extra shield on top of that. Took a great trade versus JackeyLove and Mako. Now JackeyLove's used 2 of his 3 starting pots.
Yeah, nice. Not the greatest of trades, but he just wants to stop Cream getting that full reset off. Cream only got himself a little bit of a biscuit. Now level 2, and now Knight needs to be careful. We might see junglers here sooner than we might think or might have anticipated.
Maybe so. Getting a replay of what happened at level 1. And this is part of the map changes too. Much easier to get behind enemy red side bot lane. Mid lane, we saw some of those map changes working out to the favor of Knight as well, as now you have to deal with LeBlanc jumping forward, jumping back. Of course, with the dash as well, you charge up your energized autos much quicker as well. Shin immediately walking in. This is a Shinzao. He's meant to kill you at level 3.
I mean, look at the damage. This brand is going off and trying to get Tien. He's going to have to blow his flash here, you would imagine, and yes, he does. All of a sudden, like, I mean, top esports, they're not really got an answer for this early game, and now bot lane, they know that there's no jungler, and then Brian can come back down.
Yeah, it turns out it's not just the jungle that's on fire, it's the enemy jungler too, and he's heading towards a dive against the level 2 bot lane.
Yeah, the level 2 coming in there a little bit quicker maybe than they anticipated, and that did ward off Shun, but I talked about it. With that extra avenue and with those extra little movements, you can make so much happen. You can see Knight hunting someone down.
No
Tien
way.
has no flash, and Knight starts off the year with a kill. First blood in the LPL, and BLG, they're relentless.
Oh my gosh, Knight puts Tien into check, and he goes down for the first death of LPL 2024. What a dominant early game. The hook is in a bad place too.
Oh no, they will not be able to trade back this kill. Shun though, flashing away. Mako has got the shield and will stay alive. BLG, they're winning on all fronts, and this top lane is just not going to mean squat. You're new to your tank. Yes, you're going even, but it doesn't matter.
BLG of 23, the other LPL players said of them, they are the aggressive laning team. They're going to push you mechanically right from the start of the game. Nothing has changed coming into this one. TEN with no flash, not realistically going to be able to pick up anything here. So immediately, a 1.5 to 2,000 gold lead for BLG out of the gates. Knight has got a great early back. Bot lane's got a great early back. All happy days for BLG.
Look at the amount of jungle that's available here for the side of BLG, or even just obviously specifically Sean. TN's going to have to try and be quick here to make sure he can get something back, try and stabilize this jungle path. But I mean, it's already a difficult time to be in. He can't really go and contest a lot of the early, early grubs or anything.
For sure. TEN is one of our most famous early game jungle pathing junglers too. I mean, I was thinking back to this time last year when we was playing loads of Poppy and other aggressive junglers. He was the jungler in the first couple of weeks of 2023 that would path aggressively, but Shun has really got his number in this one. Void Grubs, so what you do as Brand if you are going to go towards Ed, and Eddie, is you use the Q on the first one, you spread it to the both of them after that, press W, and then the passive kind of juggles down all of them. Very, very quick at taking them, but with 369 having such a chokehold over topside with the early wave clear of Udyr with the Phoenix stance, getting that huge kind of vortex over them is going to maybe dissuade Shun from him running at them immediately.
Yeah, not quite yet. They do have good vision on it right now. They're just making sure they can at least respond should there be an early kind of push for this, but already Cream, he's not falling too far behind despite the early kind of setup, but now Shun going to recognize, you would imagine, pretty quickly that he's going to be on a bit of wards. He hasn't spotted that ping port just
the
yet.
Passive on the first one, that pops the passive on the other two, and all of them get a triple passive on them so quick. One of the quickest in the game at taking those. Shun is not going to be contested because of the massive amount of pressure that Knight has in that mid lane. So mid jungle for BLG working out very well. Of course, that's been one of the big changes. You go out Knight in, and they're getting some big value out of this early game.
Yeah, Brand getting all three of those. That means you get some pretty decent tower pushing. And it also means that that quickens up the tempo you can go for. You can actually go and say, look, we know we can take these towers. We know we can take these plates far quicker than you're anticipating. And that trade becomes a lot harder then.
And it feels like right now, because of the way that bot lane and mid lane are playing, they actually can get some of those chip towers. Before the grubs went even down, 2 plates in bot lane. So this is going to make it much harder for top esports to protect plates and protect a gold advantage going elsewhere. TN, Mako, maybe they can combo up for something in this bot side. It doesn't look like Shun is here right now. He's on the bot side of the map. It looks like top esports, they have a thin window to make this work.
Yeah, they're going to try and make this one work. Mako doesn't have flash, got to force Elks out of there, needs to make sure he does not get hit by the dredge line. Everyone is kind of backing away, but now TN's kind of showed himself. You've made your play, congratulations, you got a play, or excuse me, a flash. It doesn't really mitigate any of the pressure.
No, and that's the thing, that was your window. It's a respectful flash, and then as soon as that play fizzles out, what do you do after that point? You know, that was your one ticket. It was hard to make it work. It was the only sitting play on the map, really. And one of the things we've been talking about a little bit in regards to the meta is sometimes you have to trade the grubs for the early dragon. That's not even going to be the case because bot side has been winning so hard. Bot side coming around again. TN will spot Shun. Both level 6. Well, level 6 hit for Shun, not for TN.
Not for TN, and he's getting the bounce off him, but Elk went down in the fight. And you see TN, he loses his flash as soon as he gets it. Now Shun picks himself up a kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but with the minion wave thinning down, they can't go for anything else. They did lose Elk because without that flash, he is a sitting duck if he gets hit by the dredge line.
At least it's one kill to the side of top esports. They take down the enemy AD carry, which means that they can get a reprieve. They can maybe buy themselves a reset, importantly, too. They'd love to just get back and spend some gold.
On. Just kind of sidestepping that one. Mako's in a bit of a compromised position. JackeyLove does not have the health bar for this, and you will just be trickled down. They do finally look to try and get some damage in, and JackeyLove has paid for the sins of his support. They will try and just burn him down with the Ashe, constantly slowing them, and this is why the Ashe has constantly been seen around the world. So oppressive.
Folks, should have just reset. They just got themselves the kill. That was their time to get back into lane and get themselves into a better laning position. End up throwing that one a little bit. Cream forced the flash away from 2. BLG playing through lane. This is a scary early game.
I mean, we set it up that this is how BLG wanted to play the game, but I do think that BLG are coming at this from such an incredibly aggressive angle because they know, I mean, they're playing with such confidence. They're kind of saying, look, no, we on paper are the best team in the league, and we should be playing like the best team in the league. They are setting a marker for how they want to play the rest of the year.
Absolutely. So, top esports, what do you do now? I think BLG have really used their early lane pressure and then the clear speed of Shun to be very active in the early game. But what are top esports going to do after this point? Going to go back towards this dive. This was their response. That was a Nautilus hook and a half. Goes between the two of them, pings onto Elk at the end of it. But between the extra damage there, oh, he takes aggro with his ults. That's unfortunate. Honestly, they probably shouldn't have even gotten that one kill if that's the case. Top esports getting out a little bit luckily from that one. They are going to go towards an early dragon now, but there is BLG presence.
A little bit of BLG presence, but they weren't really set up in terms of the vision to try and contest that one. So Dragon goes over to top Esports. They're already falling 3K gold behind. It's only coming up in 9.5 minutes. This brand 2-0-2, and you're probably noticing we haven't gone top lane at all because it's been tank v tank. It hasn't been relevant right now. It'll be relevant in about 10 minutes time when we go to team fights, but for the moment it's just not really something you need to go for, and BLG are capitalizing on the fact that top lane is just non-existent for the moment.
And one of the ways that Udyr tends to get ahead of K'Sante is you proxy, you push in very quickly, run beyond the tower, and then you end up clearing the next wave. Because Shonon Brand clears waves so quickly, there's a chance he can contest that too. So 369 not even out of farm advantage right now. It's very even. He hasn't gotten plates, so Bin, he's doing his role, and honestly, this feels like a bit of the flip of 23, where it would be Bin pushing for early pressure, looking towards individual advantages, and then later into the game, 369 would have teamfight presence and soak up that kind of pressure in the early game. So Bin's actually going to get away with the grubs and have demolished Frog the first plate of this top lane.
This is what I was talking about, with those grubs now being into play. That extra few seconds, if you can delay someone's back, if you can stop their rotation, it changes how you play the game. It changes how you kind of approach
let's see how quickly this takes. So it's 10:28. How quickly is this going to go?
I'll keep the timer on you.
Not quite first item just yet, but this is such a quick clear from the brand. Level 7 right now, farmed up pretty well, and of course got those 2 early kills. He's basically taken it in about, what, an extra 20 seconds, 30 beyond that. 2 rotations of spell, pretty much able to get this one. And there's nothing that top Esports can do about this. No. Again, they're chokeholded in most of their lanes. 6 grubs going to the side of BLG. Top Esports get an early dragon, but let's be honest, how are you really going to be in a position to get yourself towards soul point win condition or something like that if you don't have the gold and the pressure and lanes to fight it?
Yeah, and again, this is 6 grubs, it's an AD LeBlanc, it's a double AD bot lane. Like, you're just gonna melt turrets. Even if you do trade a Baron or a Dragon Soul or whatever, it doesn't matter because you're just absolutely smashing them. And then the mini Eddies are coming in.
Go Eddies!
The little minis, they're coming in, the Rolfs, as I've decided to call them, because of, I don't know why,
I was questioning that.
Yeah, but look, Rolf was the shepherd guy from Ed and Eddie, yeah.
You know, I never really watched that. I thought it was a funny... well, I caught it occasionally on TV. But
Ed and Eddie was like my childhood, basically.
Yeah.
I was just like...
Dude, by the way, there are so many names I've been thinking of these. The Grub, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's one of my favorites.
Great.
I like that one.
I like that one. What? Nice. Yeah. Does he go for an aggressive play here? He really wants that plate, and he will get it. As the Rolfs come in there, now everyone's converging, but I don't even think they're going to be able to get anything from this. They hit them with the Ash Arrow, Mako taking passively damage. Knight goes back over the wall because why the hell not? No one can kill him. And just look at this passive poke coming out. This is just impossible to play against. Mako has to get himself fate called in order not to die. But top Esports, I wouldn't even say they're on the back foot. They don't have a foot to stand on.
Yeah, they've been locked off at the knee, it feels like. No quarter from BLG. Again, using the Void Grubs. How many plates have they got total right now? They've lost 1 in top side, but they've taken 1 in top. Taken 3 currently in bot, and they've taken 2 in mid lane. That's only going to get worse with an extra minute and a half and decent amount of time to hit these turrets. Top Esports, they're looking for that one snatch and grab engage where they can get a good Nautilus hook onto someone out of position. You know, as much as the gold lead is there, in jungle and in the lanes as well. If you're fighting on the bot side of the map without K'Sante, everyone is squishy. You might be able to take someone down. The BLG, real credit for them. They're using aggressive plays and aggressive laning, but they're not overstepping to the point where they're getting punished.
Yeah, full tower taken in bot side. Just the Grubs able to do so much with that, and we get a couple of bit of breakdowns for some of the new items.
So this is one of the new tank items that's showing up on the bottom of the screen here. It's Kaenic Rukun, which is a cool name. It's a completely made-up word, but most things are in fantasy settings, so we have that. That's been built up for K'Sante. When you're out of combat for 7 seconds, you get yourself effectively like a Galio W passive as a magic shield, which regens when you're out of combat, which is that little purple bar at the end of his HP bar. Now what that means is poor Udyr, he's running at you with a load of magic damage. Every wave, he sat there going, I need to choke through how much HP to actually get to your actual HP bar again. Tank items are really quite strong right now, folks.
Yeah, tank items are the way to go for top laners, and outside of Jax, it does feel like
even he builds them.
Even he builds them, to be perfectly honest. He gets a lot more out of them, though, I think, is just because he gets damage as well.
Not me. I play AD Ahri top lane. I don't think I get to build the tank items, but everyone else, you can go towards Kaenic Rukun and Frozen Heart. That's the double resist kind of super combo right now.
Yeah, that is the super setup, if you will, as we come into this new meta. But I mean, for top Esports, how? It's a question we always ask ourselves, or I always ask my co-casters at least. How do you stabilize? How do you come back into this? You're 4,000 gold, 5,000 gold down.
Can I borrow a Jamada-ism?
Yeah.
Turn to religion. Every time it gets like this, that's the phrase he'd use. And It's feeling like it. Yeah, you're praying to Mako, I think, in this particular one. You got to just find yourself a good engage. She's the one real person in position to potentially catch someone out. There's, of course, one of the big changes too is that stopwatch was removed from the game. Now, Seeker's arm guard now effectively functions like that, but it's much more expensive. Knight is alone in the side lane for now, but he has double dashes and a flash. He should be okay still.
He should be fine. Maybe he didn't have the double dash. I think his ult was on cooldown. That's probably why they felt comfortable to go for that. But you committed to the bot side. You got a flash. You lose in the mid lane because, again, double marksman just makes this so difficult. Brand takes the dragon by himself. Another Fate's Call just to answer the chain of corruption. And I mean, this is just, it's hard. It's hard to watch for top esports fans.
Yeah, it is. You can't even walk into your own jungle right now. On still has ult. Shun, once he pops his ult as well, going to do an insane amount. They're going for the hook. This could be the play, but it misses.
They got to go be able to turn them back. No Fate's Call to bring them back out on top of this. But Chem Rift does mean we get ourselves a bigger blast cone, so they're able to kind of put themselves into out of harm's way. But 6,000 gold, or just under 5.5, I should say, as we hit the 15-minute mark. Dragons aren't even stacking for top esports anymore, and a Chem Rift, it's just, a Chem Soul's just not that valuable.
No, it's not. They would have loved to get a fight like that. I mean, credit to Mako, he has looked for it. The roam up towards that river play, which almost caught Knight out. That play in the enemy jungle there, flashing forward, looking for Shun. They're the right place to make, but BLG, this is the caliber of team that they're coming into this year as they're not giving early picks and easy picks over to the side of top esports. And now we have Knight building up towards the Voltaic Cyclosword as second item on top of the Shiv. He's looking to maybe take down 369.
Yeah, there's a ghost here, no flash, and there's a CC chain and a hell of a lot of damage. Shun showing why Brand should be your go-to jungler at all times. And this is just exceptional from BLG.
Yeah. 369 is actually the number of degrees Celsius he reached in that kill there. Sat on fire, burned down. It's getting
hot.
pretty toasty towards that top side. And yeah, now this is a big problem because Udyr is meant to get lane pressure, meant to be very hard to take down his side lanes. Knight and Shun do it for the cost of, what, one ultimate from Shun. They're going to take down the Herald as well. They have lost one objective, which is that Cloud Dragon towards the bot side. And as we said, who gives a damn about that? It's a Chemtech Rift, and it's a one dragon apiece. It's not coming in the early Soul or an early Elder or something like that. Top esports, they are feeling so out of options right now.
It really does feel rough, as we can see Mako just not landing these hooks, and you've already got a Edge of Night here on, so he's just...
Very intelligent,
actually. Just doesn't need to go for the Umbral Glaive. He knows that Vision isn't going to be the big key for them right now because they're just so far ahead.
I hadn't even caught that because Ash, I just kind of assumed builds Umbral Glaive. That's really intelligent, right? What's the way we've been talking about top esports getting back into the game? Mako flash forwarding, getting a hook. The ult misses under the turret. Cream will get away with that one.
Yeah, I mean, but again, this is why the Ashe support is just so valuable, so viable, because you could just have so many options to just go, wait, can we get an engage? Nope, we didn't lose anything. The Ashe ult's already on a quarter cooldown done, so you're going to have that back so quickly. Shelly.
That's a lot of little creeps.
Let them all go! Like, god damn it now. Go the other way. Bring it to mid lane. I think you got 10 seconds, so we're going to see now how good of a driver Knight is. Got himself some need for speed, and maybe he's going to try and just kind of put this towards that mid lane. It depends.
There's no turret there. There's no turret to hit.
Well, he had a bit of a fun, right? Look, League of Legends is all about having fun, all right? None of this World Championship malarkey. Let's just have a bit of wholesome fun.
Some of the greatest players in the world have not had a great chance at driving things so far. Maybe they need to pick up some racing sims or two. Or they can play Nexus Blitz or Arena. The battle sled follows a very similar mechanic.
The next Verstappen is here. I know it. I know he is. We just have to find him.
Either way, though, I mean, BLG, without that Herald Charger or with it, they have 3 of the outer towers down already. They have themselves the 6 grubs. It feels like now, particularly now that... so we'll watch where this goes. I think it's going to be off target, so we'll be okay with that one. But Knight is going to transition into this side lane role very effectively, getting up towards the energized item spikes because you have Shiv, you have Fleet, and you're going to have that Cyclosword, which is... very good at recharging on dashes as well. He's going to be sub-noxious like this. Cream never really gets to hit the LeBlanc stood in the soldiers because they're there for like, half a second for an auto and a spell, and then they're gone.
I feel like we are already hitting kind of a threshold right now where you're 7,000 gold down. That's just so annoying. And on, this feels for top esports like you're thinking about game 2. I don't really like saying that a lot of time, but this does feel...
Yeah, look for a Hail Mary, but this one's hard.
How do you change? What are you looking to change right now? What do you want to see them adapt to coming into the second game?
You can't have as many losing lanes. You can't afford to give up this much early pressure, especially against laners the caliber of BLG. Top lane's a bit of a wash, but mid lane and bot lane feels like, you saw the Ashe locked in, you opted into the Kalista Nautilus, you couldn't make it work in the early game, especially with the early jungling going so poorly for TP as well. But this is the Hail Mary.
This is the Hail Mary. They'll flash in. They're going to try and jump in and kill off as many as they can, but they haven't killed them just yet. The damage only just about getting it, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Now the rest of BLG can clean up house. 369 looking to try and take out Alt, but he gets all outed. Jackie Love trying to keep himself safe. Finally, Cream goes in, but as soon as you go in, you're going to have to go out because you are dead. Bin looks to try and jump onto Jackie Love, who flashes away from the action. Knight looking for one more. The 369 stun keeps him and his 80 carry alive. But even when they threw everything in the kitchen sink, it's still a BLG win.
And it's the kitchen oven as well. They've been branded marks for death, and Shun put out so much damage in that fight. Top Esports, again, they're looking for these few plays to try and get flashes away from, get good shutdowns and gold. Again, it's the right kind of options. They just don't have the vision, the positioning, and the raw stats to take these kind of fights. So BLG, they walk away, yes, losing a lot of flashes. That potentially could be a negative. But as you see in this fight, you gotta catch far too many people to win one of these fights. Good double early flash, but just watch how much work Shun does. One shot's the support. The burn's going across in terms of the passive. He's basically untouched. Shun has had an incredible first game so far. This brand loving it.
Yeah, and again, I can't really blame Jackie Love. You know, might look at him there and go, oh, his positioning, he's not there. He's a short-range AD carry. Cream! Oh! No, he actually gets behind his clone. They actually keep him alive. The Ash arrow goes out, but it gets blocked. But I mean, what's Jackie Love supposed to do there? What's he supposed to kind of set up for? Because as a Callista, you walk in, you're going to die from the brand damage.
That you are. Speaking of brand, takes down a dragon all by his lonesome towards that as well. And now we're getting to the point where the map's starting to open up. It's post 20 minutes. We have the new Void buffs. This is going to be the Hunting Baron. There are 3 kinds of them now. Hunting Baron has the same pit as the old one. There's also the All-Seeing and the Territorial Barons, the other ones, which I can't really remember until I actually see them on the Rift themselves. So the map's getting open now. So Top Esports, you can never leave Baron alone. There's the Leandries on the brand to burn down that Baron, but you also can't really leave side lanes unattended because of the 6 grubs, because of the 3-item AD LeBlanc who's gone for a fire cannon as well for extra obnoxious ranged energized poke. Again, this is so difficult. They're looking for that one miracle engage, but they've failed pretty much at all attempts so far.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mako has flash, but I don't even know he's going to be able to get out of this. He's still ticking, still ticking. The Fate's call comes in to try and wait it out, and he will stay alive just barely. And I mean, this is rough. This is so hard to kind of see where you come back from this, because even 369, yeah, he's not going to die very quickly, but I mean, he just keeps getting chipped down.
But Shun didn't even use ult on Mako. He doesn't need to use anything important. You can see that he's been so good at judging his own power. He has a Rylai's as well on top of the Leandry, so the burn is going to trigger the slow, which means it's harder to dodge everything, and it makes it much easier for BLG to chase down the few targets they don't kill in that opening salvo. Look at this, you can see the vision toggle. Top Esports, they have very little to work with. This is going to come back to what we were just talking about. You have kind of a lose-lose option. You either look to spread the map and potentially give over Baron, or you try and focus on one area of the map and give over sidelines to 6 grubs and a heavy 1-3-1 style composition from BLG that they can perform as.
Yeah, and again, this is just an impossible situation to come back in. You're waiting on BLG to make mistakes. I think that's a very fair kind of way to put it. But BLG, even when a mistake was kind of technically made or forced upon them, a forced mistake, it was very much kind of mitigated. It didn't matter because everyone has such incredible stats right now. 3 items on the LeBlanc, 2.5 items coming up, and stacks as well on a Dark Seal here for the brand. You can see Ghost burned straight away by 369. And again, you need that to be getting onto the backline, to forcing Elkin and Knight away from fights.
And they've chosen one of the options. They chose to focus on one area. They give over a sideline turret at this point. Inner turrets are worth an awful lot of gold. Top Esports, they've not even got anywhere close to them because they haven't taken a single outer turret at this point. They're gathering towards this top side of the map, getting some vision around Baron. I don't think they're really able to start it, though. They might just try it anyway. Cream doesn't have teleport just yet. It's off vision for BLG. They'll need to come check just in case. They're using the Ash Arrow to do so.
Yeah, now 369 moves forward here. Elka has put down a lot of work here on top of him, but that blast cone,
the blast cone.
is going to put him in a little bit of no man's land, but he should be fine to walk away from this one here, just cycling through his abilities. Cream tries to make something work here as he jumps off the Knight, but Knight gets himself over the wall. They're getting some decent damage down. You can see now Top Esports springing to life. They're going to try and make this one work if they can, but Tien is all alone. He's healing up a little bit. He finally gets taken down, and now Cream just hasn't got a leg to stand on. He will be forced out as Shun picks up a double. And this is just, again, you threw a Hail Mary, but it's a Hail Mary for the reason because prayers aren't always answered.
It's a prayer for the departed at this point. Top Esports, they have had a couple of chances. They get a focus. They're not even going to take down on. Oh, gosh, you can't blame them for trying. They didn't have many stats. They didn't have many options left. Yeah, there's an item at the bottom of the screen. That's one of the tools of their demise. BLG going to seal this Baron, probably seal away the game as well. No, he doesn't even need to feel like he's there. Post 20 minutes, by the way, just finish it while it's here. If you kill a buff post 20 minutes after Baron has spawned, your whole team gets the buff at the cost of they no longer transfer. Yeah. So if you kill someone, you don't get the buff off of them. But BLG going to walk away with all red buffs. They're going to get themselves a Baron as well. Knight is... He's just alone doing his thing. What is
He's untouchable. He is untouchable, and he knows it.
My gosh.
He knows he can flex on them right now. He's like, I know you put your entire branding on my name, but it doesn't matter because I am here on BLG. I'm going to show you that I am the best in the league.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So he ends up like dashing at one point, hits the blast cone, dashing again, so he has two different return points. You can just fly across the map. I love that. Inventive play from Knight, just flexing a little bit. Going back to replay of one of the fights that we had. It's going to be the clumped up fight that we missed in favor of watching Udyr kind of run around on the top side of the map from this. Bin, very, very tanky. Talks about how tank items are very, very strong right now, even in the midst of 3 members. Very happy to tank them up. Cream out, honestly, decent punish onto Knight, but again, I think Bin is the focus of this team fight. Watch what he does as soon as Knight gets hit. As soon as there's any threat onto his carry, drags Tien away from the killing blow. What a bro, honestly. Bin, good game from him so far too.
Yeah, very solid performance on a tank, and well, K'Sante does it all, really. Something, 500 armor, 5,000 HP or something. But now with the Baron taken, we're in here. Udyr were split pushing. That's top esports' one and only turret taken for them. They're down by 13,000 gold. It's just basically a formality, you would imagine, at this point. 26 minutes coming up on the clock. Shredding through turrets, stopping any kind of rebuttal coming out here from top esports. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be the game, you imagine. Everything and anything is just going to be taken here by BLG.
The full court press continues as it has done for the last 26 minutes. This could be the death push. They could also look for one more reset, maybe. We'll see if they end up finishing on this one. Top esports, they have defender's advantage. They can go back and regen, but they still got to be able to take someone down on the side of BLG. Minute left on the Baron. Bin's going in.
Bin is going in, but going to get the Fate's call out of the Callista to try and see if they can keep Mako alive. He also used his ultimate as well, so you're 2 ults down and you've got nothing from it. All you got is a couple of low health fires. They finally try and jump onto Knight, but Knight wants to take down Mako. He goes back to his distortion. They bring back the Udyr and say, it doesn't matter if you're the tank, we'll take you out too. This brand is disgusting as they take towers, they take champions' lives, and they will eventually take the Nexus. Not before, of course, they start to pad these stats just a little bit. They want everyone to know that they are the top dogs, and what a statement game 1 from BLG.
Shun ends up as 8-0-8 on Brand Jungle. We were wondering what the meta was going to be coming into this year, and we've seen from some of the other regions, we've seen a lot of Xin Sao, we've seen some tanky junglers, we've seen some early skirmishes. We saw 1 or 2 games in the Brand Jungle, but it hasn't become that